Adrian here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a retro review for The Fifth Element. So if you're watching this on May 10th, it is the 25th anniversary of the release of this beautiful sci-fi masterpiece. So let me go over some of the details of the movie, then we'll get into the review. Of course, this is a review for a 25-year-old movie, so spoilers will be there. But if you haven't seen it, I really highly recommend you go check it out. So, The Fifth Element was released in 1997 with a rating of PG-13, with a runtime of 2 hours and 6 minutes. Same runtime as Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Interestingly enough, um, as of right now, as of today's date on 2022, this has a 70% rating on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics and an 86% audience rating. I think for myself, yeah, this is definitely a high 80s. I really, really like this movie. I just rewatched it today in preparation for this review because I knew we had the 25th anniversary coming up, and social media was kind of all about the Fifth Element. Uh, if you haven't seen the movie, let me give you a quick, brief rundown. This movie is directed by Luc Besson, written by Luc Besson and Robert Mark. They both worked on the screenplay. In the 23rd century, a New York City cabbie, Corbin Dallas, finds the fate of the world in his hands when Lilu falls into his cab. As the embodiment of the fifth element, Lilu needs to combine with the other four elements to keep the approaching great evil from destroying the world. Together with Father Vito Cornelius and zany broadcaster Ruby Rod, Dallas must race against time and the wicked industrialist Zorg to save humanity. So yeah, this movie to me is just a really really cool piece of sci-fi. One of the best, one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time. I remember watching this a long time ago in the early 2000s, 90s probably, and yeah, this one's kind of one that I can just sit there and watch at any time that it's on TV. For today's thing, I did. It is streaming on Paramount Plus, so if you have that, you can go watch it. Um, like I mentioned, this movie has few characters, so let's go over the cast. This movie stars Bruce Willis as Corbin Dallas, Gary Oldman as Zorg in a super amazing role of a villain. We don't get to see as much of the villain as maybe we should have, but we also have Gary Oldman as Zorg, Ian Holm as Father Cornelius, Mila Jakovich as Lilu, and Chris Tucker as Ruby Rod. Let's go. I guess I'll just kind of go through the movie little by little. So I love the opening scene, the opening statement of like, this is some ancient stuff. This is all gonna come to pass. But I think what I really like and what made this movie very different is that Luc Besson did so much practical stuff. He introduces these beings that are like these big round dudes, robot-like, who are supposed to protect the stones from the great evil and get everything ready to save humanity when the time comes. But yeah, they are so cool. We do have the late Luke Perry in a role here as well at the beginning of the movie as Billy, um, who is helping, I guess, just like an archaeologist to dig through the site. So yeah, I love the concept of like this. The teachings have been passed down to this like group of priests that devote themselves to the fifth element to protect its teachings and move it forward. So we are tasked with that. Now we swoop back 300 years later, and we meet Corbin Dallas. And out of luck, just cab driver. He has everything going wrong for him. He gets fired. His wife is leaving him, which we never meet the wife. He lives in a really crummy apartment, which there's a lot of really cool stuff about the future. I mean, other than the flying cars, like these little things that the movie just introduces. And I think Luc Besson has a really interesting vision of the future, especially for the technology that was available for effects at the time. Um, I really would not want this movie to be remade with the current technology just because I think it's such a piece of its time. And like I mentioned, I think the practical stuff. I mean, we have the Mangalores. There's this troop of like evil bad guys that are hired by Zorg to get stones. They're all practical. Like their costumes are all practical. We have the diva who has one of my favorite sequences in the movie, like the whole song at the opera while Lilu's fighting the Mangalores. That is top notch stuff for me. Like I really love that whole sequence, the way the music is synced with the fighting. I think it's really good. I don't know that the fight. I think the fighting has definitely improved, especially Mila Jokovic has been in a lot of action movies, like including all the Resident Evil stuff. And I think some of the fighting choreography has been better. But this is way back at the beginning, right? So I think it's just improved since then. Um, and we get to this relationship between Corbin Dallas and Ruby Rod, who have to kind of team up to save the planet and save this hotel that's being taken over by these Mangalores and Zorg. And just, I know it all kind of sounds like nonsense, but I mean, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Um, and then, as a storytelling device and a little comedic relief, we have the president, played by Tiny Lester, who rest in peace as well, and all these like just military dudes that are incompetent and they don't know what's going on, and the only one that can save us is Corbin Dallas. But they're all kind of listening in on this radio broadcast at the same time as everything is happening. So yeah, this movie's great. Like I said, the visuals that the movie presents, the music is amazing. Like it really brings us the tone. Um, there's a scene where Lilu learns about everything that she's missed over the past 5,000 years in a computer, and we see her going through the alphabet throughout the movie. And when she gets to W, she starts looking into war, and then the music just hits. And Mila Jokovic, her performance is great. Like she's just staring intently at the screen, and you see a tear as she's trying to hold back all these emotions from experiencing. Not she's not even experiencing war; she's just experiencing what it is, what war is, and learning about that. Um, yeah, it's really interesting. I love the last sequence of the movie when they get everything together, and in the end, our heroes triumph. So this is a really fun movie. I really like the stuff. I think Luc Besson is a very interesting filmmaker. Um, I know, I know Valerian, the City of a Thousand Cities, is not like everyone's favorite. But I really like that movie, specifically for the same reasons that I'm talking about here. The CGI, the effects, just the music that's kind of all weaved in. So Luc Besson definitely has a specific type of storytelling and a specific type of filmmaking. So yeah, I highly recommend you go check this out. Like I mentioned, this is streaming on Paramount Plus. If you've never seen this movie and you watch this long, thanks for watching. But really, go check it out. I love to hear what other people thought about this movie. And yeah, I don't think they don't do stuff like this anymore, where it's like risky. I don't know how it did at the box office at the time, but I know for sure that this movie has an audience that loves it. So I'm very excited to be part of that, and happy to celebrate 25 years of The Fifth Element. As always, thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Sundays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned because we have more trailer reviews, TV recaps, trailer reactions, comic reviews, all that stuff. Follow me on Letterboxd, where I'll put the link down in the description where you can read my review of this movie. And let us know if you would like us to do any of the retro reviews. I think it's really interesting to go back and check out old movies. We'll definitely be doing one for Top Gun because I've never seen Top Gun, and Top Gun Maverick is coming out next month. So very excited for that. And then hopefully I can get the gang back together for the What the Real podcast, and we can talk about Top Gun Maverick, which we've been teasing since 2019. So yeah, as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.